Forget everything you think you know about scary movies. We're going where a giant space bird looks like a dollar store puppet, bug spray might defeat a prehistoric mantis, and a mad scientist wants to put Nostradamus' brain into the body of a wealthy tycoon. These B-movies aren't just bad filmmaking, they are an art form. So, let's look at 5 of the most gloriously cringe-inducing, brilliant horror flicks from the year 1957. Number 5. Pharaoh's Curse, 1957. Directed by Lee Shalom and starring Mark Dana, Ziva Sharpir, Diana Brewster, George Neese, and Alvaro Gio. In 1902 Egypt, a British army captain is sent to shut down an unauthorized archaeological dig. They discover an already opened tomb and a shadowy curse in the air. Unlike the other creature features, Pharaoh's Curse is a mummy movie without a traditional mummy. Instead of the mummy reanimating, its spirit possesses a living person, who then rapidly ages and decomposes.
Look at his teeth. The rapid acceleration of the aging process, 50 years in a matter of hours.
This possessed being becomes a vampire-like creature that feeds on blood to survive. The campiness comes from its B-movie earnestness, and a monster resembling a withered older gentleman in pajamas. It aims for the gothic horror of Universal's classics, but lands squarely in the realm of the Saturday evening teenage drive-ins.
Subscribe.
Number 4. The Deadly Mantis, 1957. Directed by Nathan Duran and starring Craig Stevens, William Hopper, and Alex Talton. A volcanic eruption causes a polar ice cap to shift, releasing a 200-foot-long praying mantis, frozen for millions of years. Naturally, it immediately heads south to terrorize civilization. The mantis itself is a marvel of monster movie effects, towering over buildings, its jagged limbs slicing through steel with ease, and its enormous serrated forelegs giving it a truly formidable presence. Luckily, our hero, Colonel Parkman, organizes needed defenses, tracks his adversary's movements, and coordinates daring attacks to contain the creature. In addition, Colonel Parker and his team also confront the advance of the Deadly Mantis. Number 3. The Man Without a Body, 1957. Directed by W. Lee Wilder and starring Robert Hutton, George Coulouris, Julia Arnile, Nadia Rajan, and Sheldon Lawrence. A wealthy, arrogant businessman, Bouchard, has an inoperable brain tumor. His plan?
In a recent medical journal, I read about a young brain surgeon doing experimental work on brain transplantation.
The film theory is that if someone places a new brain in the head of another, the replacement brain will
change its way of thinking, its personality.
Finally, Bouchard secures the head of the 16th century prophet Nostradamus as his replacement brain.
What is your name?
Michel de Notre Dame.
After Bouchard gets stock market tips from Nostradamus,
I say, sell.
All right. I'll take your advice.
an unexpected transplant takes place.
No! 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 Keep away! No!
Behind the scenes. The prop people made the brain, or head, of Jell-O. It was the crew's favorite for sneaky snacks. And fortunately, no brains were wasted in the making of this movie. Number 2, The Unknown Terror, 1957. Directed by Charles Marquis Warren and starring John Howard, Marla Powers, Paul Richards, Gerard Milton, and Mae Wynn. A group of explorers searches a remote Caribbean cave for a missing man. Inside, they find a mad scientist who is cultivating a parasitic fungus.
I canned this fruit especially for the fungus. I told you I work with all kinds of fungi.
The Terror is a fungus that turns people into lumpy, fungus-covered monsters. In reality, the monster makeup was just cotton stuck onto actors with spirit gum, and the terrifying, fast-growing fungus sliding down the cave walls, just high-grade soap suds. Despite the actors' terrified performances, it's impossible to take the threat seriously. The effect is less unstoppable horror and more Attack of the Killer Soap Bubbles. Number 1, The Giant Claw, 1957. Directed by Fred F. Sears and starring Jeff Morrow, Mara Carday, Morris Akram, Louis D. Merrill, and Edgar Barrier. The poster child for hilarious movie monsters is The Giant Claw. An engineer named Mitch McAfee spots a UFO as big as a battleship.
Something I saw. Something that flew over and past me in the air.
Officials scramble the military, scientists are baffled, and the actors play it completely straight.
And bombard that bird's antimatter energy shield with a stream of Masic atoms.
There's just one tiny problem. The monster. What appeared on screen wasn't a terrifying beast. It was a bug-eyed marionette with a weird tuft of hair, a permanent sneer, and strings you can literally see. The script hypes up an unstoppable alien from an antimatter galaxy. But when you see a goofy puppet flapping around, the gap between the terrified acting and the absolute silliness of the monster is what makes it cinematic gold. These are just a handful of the gloriously bad films 1957 gave us. Is there a creature feature or a sci-fi shock fest that belongs on this list? Let me know in the comments. Make sure you subscribe and like, and take a look at some of my other favorite sci-fi movies of the 1950s. See you next time.